Welcome into the Pick a Side podcast, a college football picks week 6 edition. Season effectively halfway over.
Yeah.
Unbelievably.
We're wishing away the season already.
And I feel like we've yet to get a truly great slate of games. We may have to wait till November 2nd. Last week was good, but I mean, November 2nd is loaded.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that. This week, this is typically the price you pay, though. You have a good week last week in terms of games you want to watch. You get a bad week this week. So thank God there's playoff baseball. Hopefully both of our teams are still involved this weekend so that we don't have to spend too much time watching shit like Iowa State and Cincinnati.
But you can come out to Will's with us this Saturday.
Saturday morning at Will's, you have an opportunity to win Illinois-Wisconsin tickets.
Yeah.
Very exciting up in Madison. See the really good Illini take on a really awful Wisconsin team. So
Will's Northwoods Inn. Check us out, 9 to 11 this Saturday.
No offense to the wonderful Wisconsin bar that is Will's Northwoods Inn,
One of
but
our
I think
favorite places.
I think even those people, and it's in Lakeview on Racine, even the Wisconsin fan base knows this team. Boy, are they shitty. All right, let's dig right into it because, look, the slate's terrible. Obviously, reminder, we are available on YouTube, youtube.com/@PickAsideESPN. Also, wherever you get your podcasts, I'll say it again. Please rate, review, subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. On YouTube, click that subscribe button, leave a comment, like a video, share it with your friends, whatever you got to do. We really appreciate it, and it helps us out. Let's get right to it with a terrible, awful slate. I'm just going to start with this. I know that, like, typically we pick out the 4 or 5 games that the casual fan would like to watch and spend a little more time on them. I found a total of 2 of those games this week.
Yeah, I think this is a we kind of kick it back old school to how we used to do the show.
I agree. I think this is a week where we just talk about the games we like. So I'm just going to ask you straight up. We've got Friday games this week, not any great ones, none that I'm running to bet.
Dude, it is maybe the worst Friday slate I've seen.
I got to tell you that there's one, and you'd have to talk me off of it and let me know that I'm just being an idiot. I kind of want to lay 2.5 with Delaware against Western Kentucky.
Right.
Start off with the D-Gem plays. How many times have we seen this? The group of the FCS team that elevates to FBS and starts off nice, they snipe somebody. Delaware sniping the Hilltoppers this weekend.
Is it worth the bankroll? I mean, I get we're almost halfway through the season at this point, but is it worth dipping into some of the bankroll for this game, for a game that, I mean, it's Friday. You're not going to watch this game. It's not worth it. Come on, man. You're better than that.
That is a good point. I'm probably not going to spend any time watching this, so why bet it? Like, if I do bet it and then I have to sit down and watch Western Kentucky and Delaware football, then I'll just be upset. Although the Delaware logo is great.
All-timer.
Their field is phenomenal.
Yep.
The look of it. It might be a fun little TV game if you're bored on Friday night. Yeah. But the Friday slate, you're right. It's awful. Western Kentucky, Delaware, Charlotte, USF laying damn near 30. New Mexico, San Jose State, and then West Virginia, BYU, where I would only ever take the 18.5 with West Virginia, but you're going to altitude against BYU and a BYU team off to a hot start. I think you're getting a little nuts. Plus, that's a 9:30 p.m. Friday kick. I am not staying up until 1 in the morning for the outcome of West Virginia and BYU. Yeah. You also get another late-night chaser if you're into Colorado State and San Diego State, with San Diego State laying damn near a touchdown. I'm good on all the Friday stuff for the most part.
I've liked the Friday slate the last couple of weeks. We did a nice job with it last week with Arizona State and with Virginia, but
hammered them both.
Yeah, this ain't last week's Friday slate. That's for damn sure.
It sure isn't. So let's get into it. Saturday morning, 11 a.m. I'm going to start with Kentucky traveling between the hedges, Sanford Stadium, Georgia. Georgia's laying 20.5 points. There is a new theory going around. Have you seen this?
No.
The bounce back fade theory is what it's called.
Okay.
The idea is that favorites expected to bounce back after a close conference loss, they're actually getting inflated numbers to counter the bounce back expectation, where everybody's like, oh, Georgia just lost a close one to Bama. They'll throttle Kentucky, so they lay 20.5 points. The fade of that number hits at a nearly 60% clip.
I like this theory.
I was happy to see it because I just, at first blush, I'm like, I think I'd take Kentucky in the spot. Kentucky's one of those teams that'll make you play their style of football. They're going to slow the game down, make you grind it out. And then there's the other fun fact. Georgia against the spread through 4 weeks is 0-3-1. They have not covered a number yet this season, and I'm not sure that this is a spot where you want to just lay the wood 3 touchdowns with Georgia. Gunnar Stockton, it's been a roller coaster. They let him throw a ton against Tennessee. They didn't against Alabama. 4th down decisions for Kirby Smart have been baffling. He was willing to settle for field goals against Tennessee. He wasn't against Alabama. I think it's kind of a every other week theory with that. Like last week, you didn't take the field goal, and it burned you. 2 weeks ago, you did take the field goal, and it felt like it was going to burn you, it was also the reason you won the game.
Yeah.
So this week against Kentucky, you get into high red zone situations and 4th downs, you might see Kirby take the field goals, which makes it really difficult to cover by 21. I'm all in on Kentucky plus the 20.5.
Yeah, it's one of my plays for the week as well. And Kentucky, remember, has kept this game close a lot in recent memory. We were seeing a lot of one-possession games, including last year's rock fight, 13-12. This is a Kentucky team that they like to drag you into their game, like you said. They'll run the ball, drag this clock out. It's tough to cover 3 touchdowns like that. And like you mentioned, too, with the whole bounce-back theory, and I think this supports this, Georgia's coming out of that war, all right? And you're going to ask them to cover 3 touchdowns. I think you're asking a lot. And I get that it's not the greatest Bama team that we've seen, but we still know it is a tough game for everyone involved, and you don't often come out of it looking nice. So, and then one of your favorite data points that I think certainly helps out in this case, but Kentucky is getting 45% of the bets, 86% of the money right now. So you like all of that.
Yeah, I like everything on the Kentucky side of this. And I also just think football side of things, Georgia's defense is a problem.
Yeah.
We've seen enough this year that I'm comfortable saying Georgia, this ain't the Kirby Smart defense of old. They get gashed. They got gashed by Tennessee. They got gashed by Alabama. Alabama converts on damn near every 3rd down in that game. It's been an issue. And I think if you give Kentucky opportunities to convert 3rd and short or 3rd and medium, they'll make you pay for it. So I'm taking Kentucky plus 20.5. You throw around a spread that big, I'm in on it.
Yeah.
Sticking at 11 a.m., blind bet. Iowa State at Cincinnati.
We're walking hand in hand here.
Dude,
I already know that.
Cincinnati laying 1.5 at home against a ranked opponent. You were giving me Iowa State plus 1.5. The 14th ranked team in the country is a dog. Everybody wants to jump all over that, right? Wrong. Automatic bet. Bearcats.
Yep.
Laying 1.5.
And if you want some football rationale here, Iowa State just lost both of their top corners for the season.
Yep.
So there's football rationale behind this too. I like the Bearcats as well in this game with the 1.5. The line is weird, and usually we chase the weird line. If we get burned, we get burned. But Cincinnati is a team that I think can certainly hang with Iowa State. And you're talking about an Iowa State team that returned some of the most starters from a season ago. Well, now you knock 2 of them out.
Yep.
And I think that changes it, especially when it's the same position and what's become, especially in the Big 12, a vital position too. You need corners.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't have corners in the Big 12, good fucking luck.
Ask Kansas how it felt. You lose a couple corners to graduation, the NFL. You go out last week with a defense that returned only 3 starters. Cincy ran them up for 37 points. Like, Cincy is not incapable of scoring the football. And Iowa State typically, defense first, they're going to slow the game down, sort of like Kentucky likes to do. They don't want Rocco Beck throwing the ball all over the yard. I think Cincy can force them into a game like that. I do not like Matt Campbell teams when you start looking at a shootout. And if Cincy can take advantage on the perimeter, they'll just win. I'm laying the 1.5 with the Bearcats.
Yep.
Clemson, UNC. The game everybody can't wait to see. Clemson's dead. UNC's dead. UNC on tape, probably the worst power team I've watched all season. They're right there with Stanford. There's nothing good here. However, how in the holy fuck is Clemson laying 2 touchdowns to anyone? Clemson minus 14 on the road in Charlotte. It's a rivalry game that I know the UNC coaching staff doesn't care about. I feel like the players don't care about it. There's 70 new ones with Carolina. But on the Clemson side, how can I expect a pulse? Their season's over.
Yeah. Well, you still have it in front of you. You only have, or I guess you have 2 ACC losses now with Georgia Tech and Syracuse.
Okay. It's over.
It's effectively over. Listen, I'd stay far, far away from this game. I'm not diving into anything here. I looked at it. I tried to talk myself into something here. It's just it's a matter of who's the quit factor higher for here. Is it UNC who is supposed to be this quadruple A, this triple A NFL program? So all right, you're still playing for your draft stock, or is it for Clemson, who effectively everything that you sought to accomplish this season has come to a screeching halt? I don't know, man. I'd say far away from this game. I don't know what to expect.
I think you got to have balls of steel to do it, but I would only ever bet North Carolina.
Okay.
It's the only way I could go here. And the reason I'm laying off is because I think about last week, and obviously Clemson lost outright, but if you play Clemson-Syracuse again, I think it's still a 2-touchdown spread. Do I feel like North Carolina should be rated the same as Syracuse? I don't. I think North Carolina's awful. So for me, like, Clemson might show up dead on arrival and just lay the quit factor, and you get the UNC bet if you take it. But I think UNC's probably a public side here. I haven't really looked, and I'm a little scared of, like, I'd probably need 21 to bet North Carolina. I don't think they should be rated similarly to Syracuse at all, so I'm staying away. But I wanted to bring it up because you're laying 14 points with a team that in all likelihood is given up.
Yeah.
That's where I think you can't ever take Clemson. Texas laying 6.5 at Florida, going to the Swamp.
Yeah.
How many fucking times can Florida be in this exact spot?
You gonna touch the stove again here?
6.5 at LSU. They should have won the game. 6.5 against Miami. They absolutely should have covered, but they gagged at the end. Now you're getting 6.5 again, this time at home against a Texas team I can't make heads or tails of. Yeah. Is Arch good? Is Arch bad? Texas, I believe, is off a bye.
Yes.
So you have a little bit of an advantage there despite the fact that you're going on the road. I kind of think the opposite, where I've taken Florida twice. I can't touch the stove again. For me, it's Texas or nothing. But I don't know if I trust Sark, if I trust Arch enough to lay 6.5 in the Swamp.
I would lean the Texas side. I am going to play under 41.5 in this game. What a number.
Yeah.
What a number that is.
I mean, that's baffling.
I mean, you're talking about a middle-of-the-road NFL number here for two premier programs. But like diving into the numbers, Texas is 99th in third and fourth down success rate this year offensively, and Florida's 133rd, worst in the country. And when you get those two teams going head-to-head here, I do not expect a lot of long, sustained drives. I'm also not expecting as many turnovers from DJ Lagway either. He'll give the ball away a couple times. He ain't going to do it 5 times again. I'm going under 41.5.
You know what? I'll join you on it.
They go low?
They go low, we go lower. That is an astoundingly low number in the two power SEC teams to be at 41.5.
Even though it doesn't look like a great matchup right now, it is still one of the best games of the day. It'll be one of the most bet games of the afternoon.
Certainly from a brand perspective, too. You get two of the top brands in the SEC, one of the top brands in the country in Texas. But it would be Texas or pass, but I think you're on the right side of it. I'll join you on it under 41.5. I like that number. Washington. Ugh. They fucked us last week.
Yeah, they did.
Laying 6.5 on the road at Maryland. And watch out now. Mike Loxley's got his Terps undefeated. They've got a fun quarterback in Malik Washington, a rising star. You've got him off a bye week. UW last year going east to west, or west to east rather. Terrible. They lost to Rutgers outright. They got popped by Iowa. They got popped by Illinois. And they got blown the fuck out by Penn State. Am I insane if I take the 6.5 and bet Maryland?
No, because that's where I'm leaning too. Like, you get the cross country, and Maryland might sneaky be good. I get that Wisconsin's not anything right now, but you go on the road to Madison, Camp Randall, still a great environment, even though it takes the length of a sundial to finally filter the students into the section. But I'm with you on Maryland. I think this team's sneaky fun. I'm not saying they're going to go out and fuck around and win the Big Ten, but I think they'll cause some problems for some teams. We've seen it in the past. What was it? The season against the season Michigan won the national title. Maryland gave them one of their best games. Like, Loxley, when he knows his coaching future is in the balance, has shown up in spots to at least inspire a little hope that this team can be something. You're giving me almost a touchdown at home. I'm taking that every day with the Terps.
Yeah, I think it's just the right side. And look, this is where things get really interesting on the Maryland side. They win this one. They don't play Oregon. They don't play Ohio State. They don't play Penn State. You can start talking about them as a potential spoiler in the Big Ten, where this conference, my expectation was it was a down year. But maybe we're just seeing a total shift randomly where Illinois, Indiana, and Maryland have a chance to be real players in the Big Ten this year.
Who knows? Who knows?
I like the quarterback, Malik Washington. He's great. Yeah. He's been fun to watch. Let's go Vandy, Bama.
Yeah.
One of the few games on the slate that I think if you're a casual fan, you might actually want to sit down and watch. Bama's laying 10.5 points. A big spot after a huge win at home in on the road at Sanford Stadium against Georgia. Now going back home to Tuscaloosa, maybe a little goodwill finally for Kalen DeBoer because he beat Georgia again. I'm throwing all of that in the trash. I buy everything Vanderbilt is selling.
Okay. So I wanted you to talk me through this because I figured you'd be on the Vandy side here. I like over 55.5 in this game. And isn't it kind of poetic we get this game on the heels of the Georgia game like we did last year too?
It's
where
perfect.
Bama goes out, big emotional win against Georgia, their rival, and then you get Vandy. This time it's at home though. And you're talking about a team in Vandy who we've alluded to over the course of this show, like, hey, you might want to keep an eye on them. And then there's like the whole Diego Pavia stuff. Like he's been fantastic here. But I wonder if there's like too much on the radar of Vandy right now. Like, I think people are starting to open their eyes to who Vanderbilt is. I lean the Bama side.
62% of the bets make up 90% of the money on Vandy.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong there.
I typically hate public dogs, but that's a lot of tickets on Alabama that are not clicking big money. Bama can win the game. Can they win it by 10.5 points? If Vandy doesn't get out of anything. And is Bama's defense that good? I know they returned a bunch, but they didn't look good against Florida State. There was opportunity for Georgia. Georgia just didn't cash it in. Are you really going to go 13 of 16 on third down again, whatever the number was? No, probably not. And I buy it with Vandy. I think they've become complete assassins in this conference where they have the money, they have the investment. You've got a legitimate coach in Clark Lee. You've got Jerry Kill, who has the familiarity with Diego Pavia from New Mexico. You have Diego Pavia, who's just a fucking demon. I buy everything Vandy's selling. I really do.
All right.
And I'm not telling you they go on the road and win, although I think they're live to. But I don't see a world where Bama's beating them by 2 possessions.
Okay. I think Ty Simpson took a step last week, too. But I'm just going to play over 55.5. You talked me off my Bama side here. I lean the Bama way, but I'm just going to make it a no play. I'm going to go over the 55. I just think you see points in this game. You pull the rivalry factor out of it. Like all those rivalry games can be like those close kind of 24-21s like we saw last week. This, if it's a close game, I see it more being like a 37-34.
My biggest fear is Bama having a little extra for Vandy. Like just a little extra gas in the tank because they need to avenge what happened last year. But I don't think Vandy gives a fuck, dude. I think they buy it themselves. I think they've bought into what the program is trying to do. And when you see that level of buy-in, and I know they beat Georgia, but maybe that's just a case of, for whatever reason, Kalen DeBoer's got Kirby's number. I don't know why. I can't make heads or tails of it, but that can be the case. And I can't get the Florida State game out of my head where they were slow, they weren't physical, they weren't intense, defensively just bad. A lot of returning starters from a defense that a year ago was bad. It's not the same Bama that it was under Saban. I don't know. I buy what Vandy's selling. I think that we've talked about it too. When you're these schools that have tons of big money alums now in the NIL era, you can start to cook a little bit.
Yeah.
And I wonder if Vandy's entering that wheelhouse where Indiana you thought was a one-hit wonder. They weren't. Can that be the case for Vandy? They weren't a one-hit wonder. They're just good now.
Yeah, all that law firm money coming in. Listen, I think that it is something to watch with them in the future. I do think that there is juice to this Vanderbilt program. I just wonder, if Vanderbilt was playing Georgia this week and we saw this line, guess what? I'd probably be on Vanderbilt. I'd be right there with you, arm in arm.
Gutter time, Michigan State at Nebraska. Nebraska's
all right.
laying 11.5. I think Michigan State lost to the bye week last week. I have never watched college football on a week where my team didn't play and come away from it feeling worse about my team. But to see what happened in Southern California, where, yeah, Michigan State backdoored a big number, but they didn't deserve to. They were down 31-10. USC bombed them. For USC to then go on the road and lose the way they lost to Illinois, where it was a miracle comeback to even get the lead, I just came away from everything I saw in the Big Ten last week and everything I saw in college football last week going, boy, Michigan State is way, way behind the pack. They're really in the danger zone of, like, if you don't get this right in a hurry and figure out the NIL stuff, you're going to be lost. You'll be one of these Oklahoma State type programs that was great once, had a storied run, and now you're just an also-ran. I'm laying it with Nebraska.
Interesting.
I think MSU is way behind the pack in the Big Ten, and I think it was highlighted last week with the performances that we saw just how far away Michigan State is. Part of it is an emotional edge. Part of it is also I hate my school. I hate my program. I hate this team. I hate the coach. I hate the quarterback, even though he looks a little bit better than he did a year ago. Is he going to be here next year? I can't stand the defense. It's awful. The defensive coordinator might be one of the worst we've ever had. Like, he's entering Scotty Hazelton territory. I can't stand anything about them. I hate them. I'm laying 11.5 with Nebraska. This has also just classically been a house of horrors for MSU. Even when we're good, we go to Lincoln and we get assassinated. Now we go to Lincoln and we're bad. Minnie Mahomes is going to be dancing on my fucking forehead.
This backdoor cover from Childs is going to make a 17-game, a 10-point game.
Can you imagine?
It's your nightmare.
Michigan State's
your
trailing.
Your nightmare is loading right now.
Michigan State's trailing like 37-21 with 2 minutes to go, and Childs just walks Nebraska down the field.
Yeah. Failed onside kick, couple of kneel downs, that's your ball game. You're crumpling your ticket up.
I just don't see it. I think Nebraska's a little better on defense than they've shown so far. I mean, the Bryce Underwood stuff, can Childs do that? Can he run that effectively? Maybe. But as a whole, can this Tout Oliver kid in this offensive line hold up enough? No. Dude, Michigan's got a way better offensive line. Like, it's just, I really believe this is becoming more, Michigan State is closer to Northwestern than they are to Illinois or Indiana. I'm just at that point. I know it's a huge number. I know there's backdoor capability, but I don't feel like this is going to be close at all.
Come on, Northwestern covered against Oregon. Anything can happen in this conference.
We both watched that game. We both watched that game. And this also isn't a case of a Pacific Coast team coming to the Eastern time zone. So I'm laying it with Nebraska. You can try to talk me out of it. I'll be stupid and do it.
All right.
The second game on the slate that I think if you're a casual fan, you may want to make a little time to sit down and watch, Miami laying 4.5 at Florida State. Boy, do you got to clip your nose. Miami has looked every bit like one of the best teams in the country, so why are they only favored by 4? There are 4s popping up, 4.5's the consensus. I think it's Knowles or nothing.
It is odd because, like, everything my eyes tell me from what I've seen this season is that this is Miami. Like, Florida State, you had the nice pop-up win out of the chute, and you've put up some high 60s and 70s against some really shitty teams, but, like, nothing. And you fell flat in the ACC against Virginia. And I get Virginia's got the nice little number next to their name now as a result of it, but Virginia all that impressive to you or me?
No.
And it's an emotional return type of game too for Florida State. You get back, you're back on your home field. Remember, this is the home field where you did take down Alabama. I just have a hard time seeing Florida State taking down 2 top 10 teams at home this year.
I'm not making it a firm play, but I'd like to have more than 5 bets this weekend, and this is the last game that I was looking at. My one read on it, too, is, like, one, the number stinks. I can't figure out why it's only 4.
Yeah.
It feels like it should be bigger, so what am I missing that the market is seeing? I'm not laying it with Miami. And then the other theory is, isn't this the perfect time where Miami's got all the goodwill in the world for Mario Cristobal to light it on fire? Isn't this the moment we've been waiting for where Cristobal loses his team a game?
But who's to say that can't be Florida State as well? Like, Norvell could very well do the same thing with his team. I mean, when you look at what Florida State has been this year, it's all pumped up off of one win. And to be honest, I wonder, too, how much of the Bama win against Georgia is maybe playing into this number, too, in terms of public perception of this game. Listen, Bama went out, they beat Georgia. All of a sudden, people probably feel like Bama's season is back on the tracks. And in reality, maybe we shouldn't feel that way. Maybe we should feel more like, really, the more impressive win between these two teams. On the surface, it feels like it's Bama, the win that Florida State had against Alabama. But in reality, it might be the win that Miami put up against Notre Dame.
I don't know, man, because I don't buy Notre Dame. I told you I'm out.
Aren't those two teams kind of similar?
Yeah, maybe. At least Bama's beaten Georgia. If you put Notre Dame on a field with Georgia right now, I don't think Notre Dame would win. And I know they just housed Arkansas. But what I saw against A&M, what I saw against Miami, what I've seen from them defensively for the most part this year. Also, Arkansas, I think, was happy to lose that game because they got Sam Pittman the fuck out of town. Yeah. That was the one that, okay, now we can fire the hero. I'm
staying away, but
65% of the tickets make up 96% of the bets on Florida State.
Florida State.
I'm flying into something here. I'm going to bet Florida State. Getting 4, I just think it's a weird spot. I'm going to put it on the card.
All right.
One last game I did want to touch on, but we passed it on the timing slate. Wisconsin at Michigan.
Yeah.
Now, if you faded Wisconsin all year, you are making money. You've done very well for yourself. But I think this might be the spot to jump off the fade Wisconsin train.
Okay. I was looking this way.
This might be the spot to go ahead and take 17.5 points with the Badgers. I think you're getting a very undervalued Wisconsin and a very overvalued Michigan off of what Michigan has been able to do the last couple weeks, and they're off a bye. Everything says bet Wolverines. But I feel like Wisconsin's staying on the road 2 straight weeks. The loss to Maryland last week. Isn't this the last try, the last shot? And you're asking me to cover just 17.5. I'm not saying Wisconsin's walking in there Ann Arbor and winning the game.
No.
But is Michigan capable of really laying a beating on a Big Ten opponent that size that you're laying 18 points basically?
Yeah, I don't think they are. But so I'm playing under 43.5 in this game.
That might be the better way to go.
We're aligned in that sense. I just worry, all right, what if this ends up being 24-3, right? And then you get burned on your 17.5. Listen, if Wisconsin's offense shows up to play, it shows up to play. I'm willing to get burned on that because I don't think they will. I see this being more like a 17-10, 17-9 type of game.
This feels like what we thought Alabama-Wisconsin would be like, where Alabama would score 3 touchdowns and Wisconsin wouldn't score at all.
Yeah.
I'm kind of with you. Man, I think under's probably the smarter play. It correlates with the Wisconsin side, but then I don't have to worry about Wisconsin needing to score late. Like if Michigan's up 24-0 and I need Wisconsin to score and get a 2-point conversion to cover my number, where if I'm under 43.5, I'm just good.
Yeah. I just think this too, like, we can say what we want about Wisconsin as a team this year. The defense is still solid. It's not great, but it's solid, and I don't think this Michigan offense is anything special. On the other side here, this is going to be one of the tougher challenges that Bryce Underwood gets this year. I think it's a little bit steeper of a challenge defensively, not as a team, but defensively, that he'll get than Nebraska, and it's not quite what the Oklahoma game was. So I think you're meeting kind of the happy medium here.
All right, I'm all good. You got anything else?
Yeah, I've got a couple games here. All right, Syracuse and SMU. I think you're looking at 2 bad defenses here. I'm going over 58.5.
Boy,
2 teams that we love.
Yeah, that's
bet
true.
Overs on, and that number is not starting with a 6. I get that Syracuse is rolling out there with a backup quarterback on the heels of the Steve Angeli injury. It didn't look good last week. 3 points on the board offensively at home against Duke of all teams, but I think you get the running game going a little bit more in this game, and I don't think Ricky Collins is as bad as he showed. He's a 4-star with pedigree from LSU.
Yep.
All right. At some point, I mean, he damn near won the job this year too.
The plan was, I believe, for him to be the starter next year anyways.
And Angeli kind of came in at the last moment, transferred in. So Ricky Collins dealt with some injuries in the offseason too. I think he'll be all right. And I just think that numbers should be in the 6s because you're looking at bad defenses here. So over 58.5 in that game. Couple other ones for you here. I've got 3 more plays for you.
Holy smokes.
And we're spraying to all the conferences here. We're going to stick in the ACC. Virginia coming off of the win against Florida State. They are a 6.5-point underdog with a number next to their name. The home team, Louisville, not. It was a good win for Virginia, but why are you a touchdown underdog now?
Is there an injury?
Not that I've seen. And to be honest, like, this is not your traditional Louisville team. When you think of Louisville football, you think high-flying offense.
Yeah.
Some of the running backs that they've had, obviously Lamar Jackson and the Heisman season that he put together. I'm taking Louisville, the home team, at 6.5 here.
I missed this when I was going through the card. I'm joining you. That is a ridiculous line. That just stinks to high heaven. What's the bet data on it?
I haven't checked. I didn't check the bet data on it, but like a ranked team,
ranked team getting a touchdown.
Yeah. It's not what you're used to seeing on the card like that. So I'm pretty firmly,
Power ratings have it at Louisville -10. Yeah, all right, I'll join you. I'll take
let's
the Cardinal.
Do it. And then 2 more for you. We're gonna go out West Coast a little later on the slate. Penn State, 24.5-point favorite on the road at UCLA. We've talked about UCLA. We've beaten that pinata. They're dead. They're a dead team that just somehow has to limp across the finish line at this point. Penn State, off of losses since 2022, is 5-1 against the spread. Now, James Franklin may not win the big game, but he knows how to win and cover the game after the big game.
And he needs this one.
And yes, he does. We played this spot last year on the heels of the loss against Ohio State. It was a weird game against Washington. I'm rolling with Penn State again this year, man. 24.5 is a shit ton of points, but you just have to ride into it because UCLA is terrible. Penn State knows they need style points the rest of the way. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like a 45-10 type of game.
I want to join you, but now that I'm faced with the click the button issue, I'm going to throw something else at you.
Okay.
And I'm willing to add this to my card if you're willing to join me.
Mm-hmm.
We've hit in this spot before. Duke is laying 3 late night on the road at Cal.
Okay. I saw that earlier, and then I was like, all right, Calgoritham, little late night game. Like, this feels good. This feels like us, right? But then I started to really dig into the numbers and everything with it, and I get that Duke is a team that's going to be playing after dark football for them after bedtime.
Holy mercy. Everybody is betting Cal.
Yeah.
Holy Christ.
Isn't it like a 90-something or like an 80-something?
81%, 75% of the money. Jesus. Oh, I wanted to bet Cal so
Public
bad.
dog, man.
That hurts. I'm not betting Duke, but man, did I want to bet Cal. All right.
We'll see. We'll get there when we get there. That could be it's been a nice little day so far. Let's do a little bit of the extra work here.
The one thing that stops me on Penn State is I don't like anything I've seen this year from Drew Aller. Nothing.
But these are the type of games where Drew Aller works.
And maybe
himself
they don't
back
even
into
need
the
him.
public
Maybe
ear.
it's just Nick Singleton and Katron Allen go nuts.
Yeah, you could run for 250 yards on the ground here and have yourself a day too.
All right, fine. I'll do it. And I trust James Franklin knows the number. We know that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he will try to cover this.
Mm-hmm.
All right, fuck it. Why not?
Last one for you here. We're going to the SEC, and it is a game of, do we need to start taking this team seriously? Mississippi State is a 14.5-point dog on the road at Kyle Field to take on A&M.
I know.
I'm starting to get into the territory that Mississippi State is the team nobody realizes is actually good yet. They're kind of like last year's Vandy. Are they getting to that point now? You're coming off of a game against Tennessee last week where you damn near beat the Vols.
Yeah, it went to overtime.
And you had them on the ropes, 6-point loss. No shame in that whatsoever. You beat a solid Arizona State team earlier in the year. You're 4th in the country in rush EPA offense and 5th in rush EPA defense. Meanwhile, you got a Texas A&M team that in 3rd and 4th down success rate on offense, they're 118th in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this just to me kind of screams a good matchup here that at a minimum you're going to get a close game and one that I think Mississippi State has a chance to win.
I like Blake Shapen, the quarterback, a lot too. He's played really well. I'm going to end up with 12 bets because I'm going to join you in the Bulldogs. I do think it's like last week was the spot where we should have seen it and taken them, and
No, but I feel okay that we didn't take it last week because last week was kind of like, all right, the prove it spot. but no one really paid attention because it was buried underneath all the good games.
How are they getting 7.5 at home against Tennessee, but getting 15 on the road at Texas A&M? Like, that's the one weird spot
Night
to
game,
me.
Kyle Field, it's going to be a rowdy environment there. But Mississippi State was dog shit last year, and all of a sudden, I think they might be a good team.
Is that worth 8 points? Yeah, fuck it.
Be.
I like Mississippi State, man. Jesus Christ, this is a big card. And we started this off by saying how horrible this slate is. You ready for this? This is suddenly what I'm sitting with. Mississippi State plus 15, Penn State laying 24.5, Louisville laying 6.5, Wisconsin, Michigan under 43.5, Florida State plus 4.5, Nebraska laying 11.5. I'm not done. Vandy plus 10.5, Texas, Florida under 41.5, Cincy minus 1.5, Kentucky plus 20.5, and Maryland plus 6.5. This slate sucks, I said.
But I feel like it's a good gambling slate.
Let me bet the board. The slate's terrible. I don't want to watch any of this. I have a wedding this weekend. Let me bet the fucking board.
You look at it this way, though. You got 12 plays. That's about 20% of the slate. If you're putting that into NFL terms, if you're only taking less than a quarter of the slate, that's like betting 4 or 5 NFL games.
It's a great way to look at it. Yeah, and then I get to sweat all this at a wedding.
Fuck out of that to you.
If I end up going 6-6 this weekend, I'll be happy. Just let me get out of the weekend with a push, please.
No blood, no foul.
Exactly.
Yep.
All right. Anything else before we peace out?
No, that's all of them. I've dug into the gutter enough.
That'll do it. We'll have an NFL picks episode tomorrow. I love the NFL board this weekend. I can't wait to get
Thursday
into
night
it.
Football tonight?
No.
Yeah.
Dude, Rams laying 9. You got to be out of your mind.
Yeah.
And all the injuries that have stacked up on the Niners side, I'd be if you want if you want to use the Rams and Survivor, go ahead.
Okay.
That might be the best way to approach it. I think there's two teams that you really, if you want to use them, the Lions may never be as big of favorites again as they are this weekend against Cincinnati. The rest of their schedule is brutal. The Rams, same thing. You might never see them laying 9 again all year. Mm-hmm. If there's two good teams you want to spend it on, if you really got some stones, use New Orleans and Survivor. That number's moving, by the way. Have you seen that?
No.
Opened at 1.5. There's 2s up.
Ooh, okay.
That New Orleans spot is something. We'll talk about it all tomorrow. We'll break down every game on the NFL board in an NFL picks episode. But week 6 college in the can. It's the Pick a Side Podcast.